So we begin with taking of the refugees. Please recite after me. Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Isana-kamanang paripurna. Panatipata vevamani sukhapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana vevamani sukhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana vevamani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Avesu miccācara vevamani sukhapadang samadhiyami.
Avesu miccācara sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musavada vevamani sukhapadang samadhiyami.
Musavada vevamani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Sura devaya macca pamadatthana vevamani sukhapadang samadhiyami.
Vevamani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Imam panca sukhapadang samadhiyami.
Imani panca sikkhapadani samadhiyami.
Sirena sukatinya, sirena purva sampada, sirena niputinya, tasma sila so.
Person doing that.
Yes.
She's a technical person doing that.
Oh.
Ready.
morning, everybody. The introduction, let us brings me back the time when I first became a monk. Recently, I went back to that place. As the saying goes, criminal usually returns to the scene of the crime. So I went there a few times. It was Wat Chetawan. You know Wat Chetawan? Taling Jaya. I went there. Started to become a monk. This is after my finals campus. It was more of an experiment. They used to do experiments. In university, they all do trials and experiments. So it was an experiment for me. The experiment ended as a profession. So that's why I'm here. It's a monk. Okay. So yesterday I went to Mr. Corin Clark's house. He asked me, how do I see the world as a monk? I said, well, to me a monk is a external, something very external, the ropes and the body. It's a sign of the institution and so on, which are all very useful. To me, I'm still a researchist. When I first went into the mountain world, everything, certain things in me changed completely. Outlook of the world and so on. So, how come nobody told me this? I had this spiritual insights that came out automatically. I said, how come nobody taught me about this thing? What is all this about? It's everything about a person's life as an experience. So I decided to research further. So I decided after my graduation. After my graduation, I continued. So it was more of a, to me, of a research. Research into the nature of existence, which is actually spirituality. People ask me, spiritual, what do you mean by spiritual? I said this, being spiritual is being as close and be aware of reality and truth as much as you can. And as a result of that, you become more at peace with the universe, you become more true to yourself, and everything that makes you happy is non-denominational. It's something very universal. And that is why I think it's one of the reasons why I consider myself quite successful and having completed my mission in Europe, in the West. Because they had to expand through all those institutional stuff. Which nowadays they are, you think there's a lot of rebel against the church and they're looking for some alternative, more universal. So in meditation, you bypass all these things and explain to them in universal terms. And so I think that in that way, the Buddhist is very close to universal truths. So when I was there standing at the temple, this is all how the whole story began. So I felt very strange. And so I went in and said, this has been almost 50 years ago, half a century. It's been quite some time, So, wow. So I paid my respects and I knelt before the Buddha image. And I could actually relive the moment. I see all the monks who were getting ordained, including the preceptor which has passed away, are all there. It's like a moment that replayed itself. I said, wow. So I went down, I went to the shrine before the main shrine. It was a hall. There was my teacher. But he was now in a metallic statue. And the other one from the one Kala, the Grand Mantra Master from Kedah. They were all there, except they were metallic images. But the guys are very good at these sculptures. They were very lifelike. The eyes are as if they are alive. And see them there. It's very strange. They're still there in a metallic form. That's how it all be, what happened after 50 years. But they represent the elders, the senior elders of in those days and even nowadays in their tradition. A lot of people look down on the Thai tradition because they're so involved with this tantric Dhamma mantra. But that's how the spirituality grew among their common folks. They have something there, they are wise people in their own ways, and so on. I think there's something because they are leaders and they do have, I believe, certain psychic potentials beyond an ordinary human mind. And so the other one, what Kalai is supposed to be the student of the other statue, Rumpolinda, is the one with the black tongue. There's one with the black tongue. Do you know? Mr. Bong. Do you know him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's known on the stage. The one with the black tongue, because it's very powerful. He observes truthfulness and so what he speaks, people goes through. They have rooms and rooms of mantras, books of mantras, rooms and rooms of them. So you can see how powerful their concentration is. They memorize all these things. So I mean, they are adepts in their own field, but they're not aware against Buddhism. They're all for Buddhism. They grew up in such traditions, and so they make use of such things. So anyway, it was 50 years ago, almost. So I think that environment now there has become very commercialized. All the sparkly, shiny things are all around. But if you look at it as just an external facade for a certain group of people, but I mean it comes from the original, very conservative Theravada traditions. Okay, so much so for the introduction. Now today I'm going to talk about anatta. Anatta, I'm sure you heard of anatta, non-self, which actually needs some explanation. Although it's one of the most misunderstood parts of the teaching, and it is also the heart of the Buddha's teachings. For example, you know the Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, it's about the third sutta preached by the Buddha. And it was given to the 5 ascetics, the first 5 disciples. And on hearing to this Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, discourse of the signs of non-self, signs of non-self, they become arahants. But anyway, so it is something very profound and covers all the teachings. So as a third part of my talks, it's not really organized like that, but it so happens like that. Since the last talks, 3 talks with me on insight and anatta, it's very much concerned with insight. First, let me explain it, make clear what's the thing. Once I gave a talk, I don't know where it was. I think it was Kuching. Somewhere, something like Kuching. No, it was not Kuching, it was in Slovakia. After giving the talk on anatta, she asked me, is anatta a concept? I'm surprised, huh? Yes. There's the concept of anatta, but there's anatta itself. When we communicate things, we make use of concepts. When you say reality is one thing, the concept of reality is another thing. Right? So I was surprised with that. So when you say anatta, non-self, people have ideas of what anatta is. Those are concepts of non-self. Concept and non-self is also built upon previous concepts. So one after another, these are like barriers before you have to go through, before you actually experience the reality. Now, anatta actually is two definitions. One is a negative definition, and one is a positive definition. Usually, people make use of the negative definition. This is more of translation matters. People are more theoretical matters, not so much of practical. Practical methods are more direct and positive. Because the word anatta comes from two words, a and atta. Atta means self, which is also a concept. A is a negative prefix, which is not self. So it's just like saying, what is Buddhism? Before you know what is Buddhism, sometimes they tell you what is not Buddhism. For example, the first sutta, the Brahmacharya Sutta of the Digha, the long discourses, is the discourse of the supreme net. Supreme net is the net that catches up all the wrong views, what Buddhism is not, and place it all before them. And so, anatta is like a negative definition. Tell you what is not reality. You say anatta, but actually the word anatta has a positive meaning, what is reality. So because of the definition, A is negative, anatta is self, so they put it as non-self. But it has a positive meaning to it. Yeah, when you use it in Pali, it has a positive meaning. When you translate it, it is not self because of negative, but it has a use for it. First, you remove all these things before you get to the real anatta. So they say non-self. What is non-self? But before you define what is non-self, you have to define what is self. What do you mean by atta? What is self? Self refers actually to the everlasting entity of the person. Which in short is the soul. Because India grew up in this belief that Brahma and all those which is the everlasting soul. Once I was talking about anatta, this lady said that anatta means no ego. I said no, that's not mean no ego, it means no soul. Then there was a shock for them. Wow! So I got to take some time to digest this. Because this idea of an everlasting soul in a person is so strong. I'm here, therefore I exist. Whereas Buddhism completely contradicts the whole thing against all those philosophical theories. For us who have gone through this, it's very not so difficult to understand. Because the soul, the idea, the I, it's a concept. It is something that built up your mind. So sometimes just to pull people's legs, I said, who is that you? What are you? Who are you? And they get very confused. Now you don't even understand who you are and what you are. How come you work so hard for yourself and work so hard for your family and work so hard for your society and you don't know who you are? So just And this is where the basic question of existential question comes into play. Who am I? Sometimes people use this like a Zen command. It's not very stable. But it does hit home a point. It doesn't seem so important, but it is important in the spiritual sense. We're getting a real meaning and deep meaning into life itself. Otherwise, we're living in a mess of illusions. And being happy is actually very much to do with being in touch with reality, who you are, what you are, and what you should be doing. Somebody said you shouldn't use the word should. It is very, what they call, very restrictive or very oppressive. Finding what you should do, what you should not do. So anyway, so Atta means the everlasting person. Who am I? What am I? You find that all concepts come into play. So with the idea here, I said, when you sleep and you've forgotten about who you are and what you are, what happened to you? So you are not afraid of going to sleep. Why you should be afraid of having an idea of non-self? The problem is because they always, the whole scheme of the psychological thought process of existence, that becomes the center and the meaning of existence. Without that, life seems to be meaningless anymore. So you say the mind shows that I have no more meaning in life. But the world as such has built up the mind to such an extent that the concept of I has become so a focal point of the meaning of existence. Which is not actually all that bad, because when you talk of the self, there's a good ego and a bad ego. If a good ego, it brings good things. The bad ego, it brings bad things. It's like a focal point of all mental processes going around it. So that's why I say, what do you mean self? Self basically means the soul. And there are other things that indicate that. So I am the feeling, I am the body. You identify yourself with the body. That's why you have this passport and photographs when you were born. I'm the feeling, the happiness and the suffering. That is feeling. Feeling, the suffering and happiness of feeling is there. But you are a different thing. You are a concept that is identified with it. You identify the concept with it. And then there's perception, memory, sankhara, mental formations, which are your thoughts, and your ideas, and thinking, and then the consciousness of the mind itself. Also, the Buddha placed the five aggregates, the teaching of the five aggregates, rupa, materiality, vedana, feelings, sanya, perceptions, sankhara, mental formations, and consciousness, vijnana. Because these are focal points of identification with the concept of the self. When you're first born, the concept is not strong. You are Meisu. So the Meisu lasted until now, this is an old lady. So whether he was a little sweet baby Meisu or an old grandmother Meisu, it's still the same Meisu, right? Is it the same Meisu? Of course not. The baby is so cute, it's not already different. The aggregates has taken a change over time. Time, I said, the Buddha was saying, shame on your old age. You that makes the color fade, you trample the whole world, you trample over everything. I always remember this. Because the Buddha was at one time resting with his robes outside, and Ananda was saying, wow, it's a wonder before the lost body was always glowing like gold. Now it's like faded. So of course I'm old. I'm like an old car that's kept together only by ropes and straps. That was when it's old. So he's talking about old age. So it changes with the times. So that's why the 5 aggregates, you have the person to separate the identification process with the aggregate parts of the whole mind-body complex with the concept of the clinging to the self. Once you separate that, then when the idea of the self is not there, then the reality is there. It's in short and negative. But reality is not. So what is reality? So you take away the idea of the self, the wrong views of the self, the wrong concept of the self. What is there left before you? The 5 aggregates. The body, the feelings, perceptions, the mental formation of consciousness. And these are also spoken of as aggregates. They are not one thing. Form is not one thing, but made up of different material qualities. So even the body form is a concept. When there's this concept, and take away the concept, what are you? With other materialities that occurs in different forms. And the moment you look deeper into it, it's so that's where the part played by the negative definition. The negative definition helps to remove all these wrong views and to look at the positive definition, which is reality. So far, so good. I think this group is more Theravada inclined. Theravada inclined are more, tends to be more rational and intellectual. Which goes along with my type. More than type. Okay. Now, we come to the basic question of practice. When you talk of practice, people come to meditate. Why do they come to meditate? Vipassana, meditation. When people come to do Vipassana meditation, I try to keep quiet and smile. Welcome! Instead of I say, oh, he doesn't know what he's getting into. But it is good for him. It's super for him. But I'm going to try to make him like it or get him to be passionate about it. Because he needs to have that to go far. Sometimes people are very interested, especially in the West, totally against the culture of the sun. See, how come you're interested that you can't get close to me and get me to tell me what I should to tell me? I don't mind, but I'm somewhat amused. So why are you interested in these things? So there's always this what you call inherent curiosity or wish to know exactly what is happening, what's going on. There's one sutta that talks about this. It says it's wonderful. How come it says how is it that people with a lot of craving, they come to listen to a talk, the discourse and teachings about non-craving? How is it that the people with a lot of anger come to listen to a talk about giving up anger or delusion? There is inherent in these people, there's a real desire, wish to understand reality and truth. And I feel after some time that it is important because that's where you're getting to really get out of the suffering. There's a suffering that's apparent, because there is suffering. But there's a suffering which is more universal and deeper. And this comes with because of conditioning. Without conditions, people will look at that suffering. But you look at the whole scheme of the practice and understand the reality. Then is the meaning of suffering. So, actually, what happens is you practice vipassana and get closer and closer to the deeper reality. And by that, you remove layers and layers of suffering, which also comes with the defilements, craving, and delusion. The mental states and all this are all traced back based on reality. The Abhidhamma, everything is all traced back to reality. For example, I give you an example of the Magga. Magga is part of its path. For example, the Noble Eightfold Path. What a Noble Eightfold Path, of course, huh? Otherwise, you won't be here. Or unless you're here for the first time. Now, the path actually refers to the enlightened consciousness. The mind that's truly eliminated the reality of Nibbana. And that consciousness is called the path. That is the experience, a permanent experience. Now you cannot try to explain what is it to somebody who doesn't know anything. Right? But you can explain it in such a way that it is comprehensible to him at his level. And from there, work towards the actual realization of what the true supramundane path is. Yeah. Something that when you talk of path, the Buddha, the Arahants talk about, they look at from the other shore. You know, he's trying to tell the people what the other shore, what this shore is about. To be able to do that is quite a feat. So this, whatever he says, he will never understand what this shore is like because he hasn't been there. But he can tell it in such a way that that person wants to come over. Well, that's the only one to come over, but how to come over? The steps one by first you go and look for some piece of wood, after that you make a raft. And then you tie strings, and then you start paddling like mad towards the other shore. And we can tell them that. No? And so as it goes to that, the idea of what the other shore becomes more and more real to him. And in the process, the suffering will become less and less. You know, it is a stepwise progress. So when you talk of anatta, the real meaning of anatta is like that. When you explain it to the other person, the other shore, how is it like and how to get over? So that is what vipassana or the teachings of other Buddhist teachings is about. Yeah. So it's about reality. Okay? It's about reality. But craving and delusion is about reality. Basically, craving and delusion is called defilements. And the root of all defilements is delusion, which is not understanding reality. You have craving because you don't have understanding of reality. You have anger also because you don't have understanding of reality. And delusion is a not understanding of reality. So the definition of delusion and difference are all based on reality, as perceived by the enlightened ones. Even in ordinary way, we can tell you what delusion is. Delusion is basically the Dharma. Stupid. It's basically that and that's delusion. Huh? It's not only that, even though you're active and listening to me, delusion is still there in the background. It's like a people who's working at the back to help to consume. Until it's telling already, don't listen, something at the back is telling you. Something like that. This is a very frightening thing. It doesn't have to be present at the moment to exert its influence on you. See, the power of the defilements was very strong. So, we're talking about morality, and generally there are different levels of morality. Depending on how much delusion you remove, enter into the deeper levels of morality. And of course, the first level of morality we say is conventional morality. Conventional morality, we must have some basic mindfulness presence. Yes, some basic mindfulness presence. If you have no mindfulness presence, you don't know if conventional morality is not there. We're talking about the moment, the actual moment. For longer moment, sometimes it's there, sometimes not. But if they're more long enough, then you know. For example, I said, this is a cup. Of course, it's a cup, isn't it? Because you're awake and you're sane and you're not mad. If you have too much of a drink, you may not think it's a cup. You think, oh, I know who's this. This is my wife. You know the story of the man who mistook his hat for his wife. No, it's actual story. It's a story written by the psychotherapists and Buddhist people. And all the book on all the stories. Oliver Sacks. I thought the man mistook his hat for his wife. Supposed to be a professor of music and so on. But sometimes he went crazy. So he mistook his hat for his wife. But one thing that kept him sane was his music. Because that is his spirit. No? He plays the music, everything perfectly, but he still thinks his hat is his wife. Very sad. These are things that happen to us. So this is the conventional religion. You must have a certain degree of mindfulness and so on to work and to live properly in conventionality. Otherwise, you can't. So if a person nowadays when you grow older, everyone is going old. No? Aging process is very So this lady was there and she was a teacher and so on. I took about Italy. Then she has Alzheimer's. But she's still strong. But she's still strong and she has a strong will to live. Over the 10 years, over the 10 years, she has slowly faded away. The memory all faded away. Now she's just there, like a vegetable. They took her out, she sits there, she's dancing on the side. With the grandchildren and children around her. It's all that's left. Is she there? So she's not there anymore. But you don't know what actually is going on in your mind. And that's very strange. Another lady, you know, the father and the lady, so speak gone. He doesn't recognize anybody. It's more like that old lady vegetable. So the lady was very distracted. She was very disturbed. Where is my father? So your father is no longer there. He's not there anymore. You know, the word of father, how he responds to you, how he cares about you, it's not there anymore. But what the consciousness that gave rise to him, the person called father, is still there. Buddhists, we call it the Bhavangacita, the life continuum, the basic consciousness that underlies all of our active mental activities. It's still there. It's just like a person in deep sleep and sometimes going into dreams. You You say, when you're dreaming, do you know we are dreaming? You don't know. Yeah. So it's something like that. It's not responding. Sometimes you don't know, sometimes they know, but they can't respond. That's a different story, right? But that basic consciousness of making that, which is responsible for present life, is still there. That's why it's not dead. So when you take care of him, it's not useless. You can appreciate the certain natures that have given you life and has given you goodness in life. But for his meaning of existence, it's no longer there. Because he's not there anymore. All the thought process that make up the person's I, you, me, and all that, all been deleted, disconnected. So the basic program to use the computer language is still there, but it's not working as it should. All the access, all the apps are not working. So the computer has got too old and dysfunctional. Right, that makes up very much of what we call conventional reality. And all the apparatus and all the functions connected with the world that we know, especially the world of concepts, it's not working anymore. Then the conventional reality is cut off. But doesn't mean that there is no reality. The conventional reality, as we know now, it's bits of. The basic reality is still there. In other words, the suffering is still there. Suffering, yeah, it's old man there, the guy not doing anything, is suffering. But is he really suffering? But he's not there. He's actually not be suffering. Who is he? You can't remember who he is. He's not suffering. The Chinese story, I read one Chinese story, these old Chinese anecdotes. It's interesting. There was this rich businessman. Wow, this is rich businessman. Rich businessman. So one day he forgot, he lost his memory. Completely forgot who he is, what he means, just sitting there. And the family, of course, became desperate. You have to bring back our daddy back. It's like all the doctors and everything, to no avail. They couldn't bring him back. So one day there was this very philosopher, this Chinese philosopher. Somebody like Confucius, I don't know anything. Can you bring my husband back? Yes, I think so. I will try. So they gave everything they had to give the kids. So I don't know what they did. They describe what they did. But over the time, they actually came back. But his memory returned to him. And when his memory returned to him, something drastic happened. He got very furious. Because he said, when I lost my memory, I didn't have any more problems. I had no more suffering, I was just very happy, thinking of nothing, doing nothing. So he got up his butcher's knife and chased after the philosopher. You are the cause of the trouble, give me back all my suffering. So the philosopher went running away, help, everybody was chasing after him. It's very funny, but there's some truth to it, There's some truth to it. So the problem is what is not fault of philosopher. It's a fault that we did not take up meditation. He did not take up vipassana, so the identification grew up as all his business became more heavier upon him. So it all boils down to the training of the mind. He was just involved in making money, not the any spirituality. So we suffer until the mind said, enough, I don't want to have this anymore. No, mind has a kind of automatic defense system. Sometimes there's certain things that you should hear, but it's so much suffering, but the mind just cuts down. I cannot stand this anymore. It just cuts down. Suppose somebody's next you until you get so fed up, the person, the whole internal system then set to making death. A lot of human diseases are psychosomatic. Not psychosomatic. To give you a personal example, so sometimes I had a lot of eczema in my body. Very itchy. And I think this is due to stress because I've been teaching a lot all these days. But my this skin specialist was telling me, no, that's a physical cause. No, the root cause is mental. You know why? Because 2 days before the meeting, the itch come back. If I don't want to touch, there's no itch. It's as simple as that, but they deny that, So the moment I listen to you, I get in trouble. So what happens is I cut off all my routines when I was in Europe. I reduce it to a minimum. And I use the time for healing myself. And I trace back all those things up. And after that, I managed to heal myself from this eczema. Because even the skin specialist says, skin problem is a very strange thing. They have to admit that. So anyway, that's one problem for me. So anyway, all things go back to the mind. But be careful, it's not just the mind, it's also karma. The aging process is not karma. This process has something to do with the physical life, like vitality, Dhamma. It is karmic based. It's not based on the consciousness in the rational mind and so on. So there's a different thing. So there's this conventional reality. Right? So some people ask me a question: if there's no I, who's going to take care of things? So what happens is practice of anatta. It slowly removes the identification with the concept of I. It does not mean that the concept of I is not there. The concept of I is there. It's supposed to make use of it in a proper way. You don't think it is that I am emptying the world. The Chinese say, Tenta, Tita, or Tita. I'm the greatest of them all. It goes, you don't think of that. There's nothing wrong with the concept of I. There's nothing wrong with the concept of the ego. It's a craving and attachment, an obsession with this that gives you the trouble. You recognize it as a thing and you put it in its proper place. And so what goes into that place, the throne, there seems to came from thrones. The throne. Now, who sits on that throne? Not me. I'm just one set. That's for the practitioner. Who sits on the throne is what we call clear comprehension. Sampajanya. This has a very important place in the practice of Vipassana and Buddhism. All those intentions, decisions, and everything, it depends on clear comprehension. This mindfulness sharpened and adapted to make the right decisions at the right time, at the right person, the right place. It's not. This is a faculty that's been developed. This comes with practice and exposure and all the stuff. You don't have time for that. Clear comprehension takes that place. And the I, the concept of the I, the ego, or whatever you call that, is put in a proper place in the pocket. Right? Now you're useful. Now you're not useful. One of my friends used a very good word for it. The screaming mouse. The screaming mouse. Not the Mickey Mouse. He's always screaming, I want to do that, I want to. Sometimes it's useful if you get certain things done. Sometimes people don't listen to you. If somebody tries to tell them what to do, it's useful, but don't get caught up in it. It's just a convenience. That's what it is. And normally people can't do that because it's all you, it's all the mouse is usually sitting in its throat. So when you practice it, and you realize the first stages of anatta non-self, and then the process of not only of this identification, but also penetrating into deeper levels of reality. And these are what we call the insight knowledges. Until you come to the actual rock bottom nibbana, then they will still get established the mind into reality. Okay. Any questions before I continue? So far. Yes.
I think the concept of anatta is difficult to comprehend for a lot of people because then they say, well, if there's no soul, so to speak, in inverted commas, then who's the one to inherit the karma that you're born one life after another, you know? So what is the continuum that you know, what is that?
Consciousness. Such people can remove the identification with the body, feelings and all that, but the consciousness they cannot.
Yes. That's how.
And the consciousness they cannot. So that is the deepest part of the identification process. So it's a conscious, because people see everything, their thoughts and all those, the thinking, all those are mind, but not consciousness. That's why sometimes the use of parable is important. Mind actually does refers to the consciousness, but it also generally used for our other mental states, not directly consciousness. Consciousness, we call it the knowing mind. The knowing mind. For example, when you talk and think and you get angry, you don't get angry, you know, all those are going on, but the mind seems to be always present. This is the knowing mind. And even you sleep, the active mind is not there. The knowing mind is still there. The rational mind, knowing mind is not there, but the consciousness as a basic function is still there. We call it the knowing mind. And that is a continuity in one birth, one life. It is linked to the next rebirth consciousness, to the next life. Okay. So there's still some continuity is there. Still some continuity there. But you see, the karma is a different thing. Karma is a different condition. That's why it is difficult to explain. Because when you talk about different conditioning, it talks of everything as a matrix. Samsara at a deeper level is a matrix. The matrix is something like you see all those electrical, electronic systems, something like that is going on, no? In the whole matrix. It's going on. So if you understand this matrix, you have to go beyond time, space, person, everything. Time is a concept which is difficult to break. Just as much as the concept of the person is difficult to break. But if you can start breaking through it, then you can understand. Why is it that now that you are not angry, do you have anger now? No. How come it comes up? Where does it come from? Do you have craving now? No. But you can get craving in there. They give you a good, delicious chocolate, you know, and start watering. So where did the quit Does where did the drink come from the kway teow? No, the kway teow has been there all the time somewhere. Where does it come from? Your mind. But what is your mind? Can you open your mind like a box? Secret inside my mind. I put secret in my mind. Close it, then you cannot find it. The mind is not material. What is it? That is it. It's how much you understand the mind. But it's there. In the whole complex, in the whole matrix, because sankhara formations. It's all there. So that's why we can continue. Because it bypasses the concept of time. To this complex, the past, present, the future has no meaning. Alright? That's why to break through samsara, to break through this matrix in the deepest level. And only vipassana can do that. Even samatha with all the jhanas cannot do that. Because the samatha is still within the conceptual framework and not actually within the ultimate realities. Okay? So we have to practice vipassana to cut through into that depth. So how do I do it? The 2 days to explain, put that in a summary. It is basically understand anatta, reality. Now I'm using a different word to define anatta, reality. Not just conventional reality, but ultimate reality. This ultimate reality is the definition given in English, which is also inadequate. But we're going to start somewhere. It is ultimate first in the sense of it's beyond the concepts, beyond all ideas of time, space, person, all those. Yeah. When they put all the ideas of who I am, where I am, what am I, all those things out of the window for the time being. You cannot put them all together in come back. Shut them up from the top. And then that's what you experience. You experience the ultimate realities. The surface of this matrix, I call it a matrix, the surface of all these matrix. It's just the surface. And this surface of the matrix, Dhamma describes what they are. Materiality, the earth element, the water element, the fire element, the wind element, the feelings, the 52 mental factors, the 59 causes. This is just the surface. Okay? What you have to do is penetrate through this to the deeper levels of ultimate realities. So in this sense, the word Paramatma, ultimate realities as earth element, water element, wind element, is still not really ultimate. It's ultimate only in the sense of putting aside the concepts. The only ultimate thing is Nirvana. Right? It's not ultimate because it changes, comes. Now you see, now you don't now get angry, now you don't now get mindful, now you don't now get concentration, and concentration seems to be lost forever. It's not ultimate. But it can be used as a stepping stone because it's part of the whole process of cutting. Right? So first in the whole cup, put aside all the concepts of with mindfulness. You putting aside all the concepts within mindfulness, they're worse than when you started. A person is not crazy, is probably out of the conventionality and for total fantasy. And so first you be mindful to the point that you remove all the concepts and lessen the concepts to a minimum, to very basic objects, like rising, falling, in and out, pain. This was a very normal thing. But they're closer to realities than the cup and the spoon. Or the chocolate and the mean way. To the actual direct experience, like the 5 sense, the 6 sense doors. You experience this without the concept of time, space, and person. And you're mindful, and you're very, very mindful. Not just mindful, but very, very mindful, clear, lucid mindfulness. Then you see that matrix, the basic part, beginning fundamental of Ananda. What this word is underlying all of those concepts. I call that as inner reality, inner realities. Because when you want to see that, why don't you have some word tea somewhere in the coffee shop here? So much better. Or in a hot day, you have some ice cream and have a glass ice cream somewhere. No, why don't we do that? So much happier. See, I meditate and watch something. Why don't we do that? Of course, there must be a good reason. No, because when you go to that level, so one of my friends call it meditation. You're on a different level, deeper level of activity. And to be there, your mind must be clear. Must be pure, must be clear, must be peaceful. Before you can see it, see these things clearly to consider it as such as the first insight knowledge, the fundamental insight knowledge into the inner reality. And this is the beginning of your path of illumination. A better word, your path to complete freedom. People somebody asked me, what is Dhamma? The best definition I can think for that is freedom. It is an open definition, and you can always go there. You just happiness, and there's so many happiness. You saw peace, I already go to samatha, jhana, there's so much peace. I don't need the Dhamma peace. I think there's the same as Dhamma peace. But it's true, no? And so you say freedom from suffering. And there's an open-ended definition. I think that's better. So there's this process of cutting. But this clear, sharp mindfulness. Mindfulness is not enough. Clear, sharp mindfulness directed towards this inner realities. There's sharp mindfulness directed to all other worldly things that give rise to worldly wisdom. For example, in one of the talks, one of the latest talks in Italy, there's this German lawyer came. So I asked people, for example, what do you mean by wisdom? Wisdom is a different type of knowing. Like Sujiva, the basic similarities they give is first is that you know something by perception. Perception is a very basic thing. You give a child a coin, he knows it's round. It's shiny, it's all he knows. He may think he can eat it. so there's a basic perception. The second perception is perception of religion. You give the coin to the religion, what happens? You can buy a cup of coffee. No, you can do things with the coin more than a small baby. It's also a second level of knowing. But it doesn't indicate wisdom. The third level of understanding, knowing is like give the coin to the money changer. And the money changer expert in money matters. He flips the coin, like my job, expert, and he takes the my job thing and he feels he knows what it is. No? Money is to make money. He doesn't have to see it, he can get over the feel of it. So the money changer is like that, you see the coin, he knows what you're supposed to. You don't have to tell him. Because it's handled it so many times, he knows. So that means his acumen and sharpness of perception is enough to give him the understanding of the object, nature of the object, beyond an ordinary stuff. So the knowledge is more like the wisdom faculty, is more like the money changes knowledge. But this is worldly, you know. This one is different, it's directed towards the inner realities, which we call spiritual. So that mindfulness has to be developed to that extent, that sharp, that clear, and that precise to know it. At that point, there's just this reality. There's this mind knowing this object, this nature of reality, at that level. And that's good enough. And that is good enough and sharp enough to cut through start to cut through the identification process. And basic deep cleaning self, the I, the soul. This is the first and second is very important. This comes about from training of this Satipatthana mindfulness. It's not any mindfulness. It's mindfulness as described in the Satipatthana Sutta. This mindfulness is such that the Satipatthana Sutta gives you certain objects and tells you how to watch it. For the Satipatthana of body, feelings, consciousness, and phenomena. You watch it in such a way that there is a rising and possible. Process of rising of factors and the cessation of factors is of prime importance. Internal and external become very possible. That is the undergoing a transcendence process. Transcendence of from the outer realities and into cutting to the internal realities, into the ultimate realities. Everything possible. Even the concept that anicca, impermanence is a concept. But it's a concept that's close, very close to the actual realities. That's why I'm saying about this. No Dishwa, Dishwa. The Arahant from Dishwa asked this ordinary person, you must see where the river is and you must swim across the river. It's not good enough to swim along the river, across the river. You know, the river is like a flow of Dhamma. Coming, going, and yesterday, today, tomorrow, past by. After one, you see your whole hair like that. And finally, you see your coffin. So, the whole process is coming very fast. In one moment, what is become made to the sense of very fast. But you can't see it because your mind is so it's all powered by delusion. It doesn't seem to pass away, you know. The queen looks at the mirror. Mirror, mirror in the wall. Who's the loveliest of them? You see how many colors. Queen, you're the loveliest of them. Every day she sees herself. And one day something drastic happens. Queen, you're not the loveliest of them all. Prince Snow White is the loveliest of them. And she couldn't accept that. How can that be true? I'm going to kill them. That little girl. She's so fixed on that picture and it's not real. It has been passing away all the time, very quickly. So that makes a difference between the inner reality and the outer reality. Conditioned reality changes, but not so much. Not so kind. The further you are away from the ultimate reality, you don't see any change at all. So when you see change, you're getting close, narrowing the whole thing down into the inner reality. When you get deeper and deeper into the inner reality, the change becomes very, very fast. The moment you see it's not there. Sometimes you wonder, is there something there or is it not there? Basically, it's not there in the deeper reality. It doesn't exist in the deeper reality. It only exists in the more superficial reality. But it doesn't mean there's no reality. The reality is there that you don't perceive it good enough. You perceive it to the rock bottom, then you see banana. So you see that there's a whole process of penetration. So there's this, then you start going to the inner reality. So in the Buddhist has the real vipassana mindfulness. It's trained through watching the Satipatthana objects. bodily processes arising first, feelings arising first, consciousness arising first, phenomena arising in passing way. This goes to training from the grosser, rising and falling, to the grosser pain, process thinking, and then finally to the final steps, very subtle, small, fine, neutral feeling, small, deep consciousness. And keep watching people, even those small, fine stages keep changing. So it's really that's where you go from the superficial levels of ultimate to the three universal characteristics. Impermanence, suffering, and suffering. Impermanence is moment-to-moment change. Suffering is the oppressiveness of moment-to-moment change. Not the physical pain and the mental pain. Physical pain and mental pain, of course, is undeniable suffering. Undeniable. But we are talking of suffering as its roots. That's already the horror of horrors going to a huge big tree, the monster tree. They can walk around and punch you. No, the monster tree. Is the roots. And where does this monster tree come from? It come from the little small seed, the little small spider mites, small ants and crawlers. You know, don't take care of them, they come bigger. So in a very small time, you don't think it's harmful. Oh, it's so cute. When it grows big, and then you go, what on earth is this cute? And so it starts cutting through. That part we call the three universal characteristics. It starts going to that from the beginning. First level is the first level of Ananda. And when you go deeper, the characteristics of the impermanence and suffering become clearer. These three characteristics are interconnected. They're basically part of the same thing, described for people to understand and practice. Impermanence, suffering, non-self. There are three interconnected things. But the main thing is non-self, basically the basic reality. Impermanence and suffering are two aspects. But before you go to this transcendental level of the three characteristics, go first to the preparatory level. Then just sit and meditate, watch pace, rising, falling, coming, and all that takes phenomena coming without any control. And you see all of that with mindfulness. Then that perception of these things will bring you to the more transcendental level of the three universal characteristics. And that is when you start cutting the difference. And it's good. You understand? So basically, this first you have mindfulness, and you bring your mindfulness to be continuous on your vipassana objects, satipatthana objects. You don't first you see metta, give metta to the person. The person is not self. It's not a satipatthana. It's good practice, you should do that, but it's not the person. You do chanting mantra, all those are words, those are concepts. But it's not bad. It's a good practice to develop concentration and faith and all that. But sooner or later you go to Vipassana. Then you go to the what you call the mind building process. The qualities of the basic mind processes, like learn, what's rising, falling, what are you actually watching? You're basically supposed to be watching the element of wind, which is dominant. The element of wind is basically tension, relaxing and bringing our attention. And you bring your feet up, lifting, but you're watching. Say watching the movement, but actually you're watching tension. Movement is part of the tension process. And so when you see the tension, then you see that moment, you see the tension, that moment arises. There's nothing to do with the form of like animal. If you walk in meditation, deeper sense, you don't see the leg. You don't feel the leg. You feel all those physical sensations that concern with the leg. But in the beginning, you cannot tell people that you don't know what you're talking about. You tell them about rice, they can do. When the mind picks up, you tell them, don't just hold on to the form of leg. You just watch the sensations that make up the process. And then there's a different thing. That's why the key to body formation of mindfulness, guiding ability to have sharp perception of bodily sensations. That is the person objective. But you have to go step by step. That the beginner will be confused. To some people, you may be able to tell it. Then they get better. So some people are more intelligent, intuitive. They don't like things which are too simple. So I think falling after the board, I'm seeing the same thing again and again. I'm going to sleep, I'm going to sleep. Then you tell them, no, it's not that. It's not so simple. You're watching the whole body processes and sensations. They're not sensitive, they won't feel that. So you have to make them sensitive for it. Another example, I went to German meditation. I was told sometimes people are so intellectual, okay, they don't feel the body at all. For example, computer experts. And it so happened that there was a computer professor there. Then he came to me, Bhante, he says, I'm such a person that we're talking about. It's quite like, I don't feel my body. Ask me to do sitting, touching, and feeling all this time. You don't feel that. I mean, to me, it's very straight. That's what happened. So while he was practicing, one day he fell down the stairs. He's not aware of the stairs. Then he said, Bhante, no, I feel sensations all over my body. But sorry, Bhante, I will go to the hospital. Well, sometimes we have to learn it the hard way. So, after building up this was the first part of meditation. Not just keeping the mind on body, but sensitizing the body. Once you get sensitive, body sensitive, you can feel sensations. You can feel sensations in the whole body, you can feel sensations clearly in the nose, the right body, anywhere you can feel it. Because they're all bodily sensations. Otherwise, rising body, I can't feel anything anymore. What am I going to watch? Your mind starts taking you for a ride. Let's go on a trip to Taiwan. Happy times are coming again. So the body sensitivity, when the body becomes strong, the feelings also become strong. After when the sleepiness is gone, after you're woken up, the next thing comes, everywhere prayer. Welcome to the person now, watching feelings. So from that, you build up the body awareness of body sensations, and it becomes more and more subtle. Then the consciousness becomes more apparent. In the beginning, it is also apparent when the gross is small, extremeness of thinking. But you're quite helpless. Because that's when the developments have become overwhelming. The monsters have become quite enormous. So fighting them is quite better. But if you have built up your awareness of the body, then you can be able to take them. Otherwise, We still have the technical benefit, but not as a primary, as a secondary. Okay. So after that, this perception of body is being built up, not in the sense of samatha, or just concentrating on them, but with pure discernment on their moment-to-moment change. How they come and go. Take for example, pain. When you watch pain and you concentrate on pain, what happens? The pain becomes loner. There's a major concentration. Blows up there. This little pain becomes a monstrous pain. And then what happens? You can't bear it anymore. Oh, I will die. When the teacher tells you, don't you dare move. I cannot move. The idea is not concentrating on pain, it's very good. Be mindful of the pain. That makes sense. The idea is not to concentrate on the thinking, to be mindful of the thinking. That means when you watch the thinking, you don't watch what you're thinking about. You watch the process like thinking or moving the process. This is terrible thinking process. Thinking normally passes on many ways. It's a process. You cling on to it and you just helpless and let it go on, then it picks up naturally. Then it becomes build up a point until you give up. So when you watch the pain, you're mindful of it. First, when you're mindful of pain, you're not disturbed by the pain. You pick up, that means you're not so mindful anymore, you're already getting dull mind. Suffering takes ahead. So must be well, pain is it's okay. I don't know. Then the pain is so painful, I can shoot. That's why I tell you for the rest of them. We have better otherwise, here, force them, they do it for you, but they get so suffer so much. After that, they won't come back anymore. First time and the last time. So when you watch the pain mindfully, it's first not to be disturbed by it. Then if you're mindful, then you discern the nature of the pain, how it comes and how it goes, whatever the different types of pain. It's always static. It's not always static. Boom, 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 boom. No. There's a couple of rhythm and pulsation. If you are able to pick up the impermanence, the flow, then it comes and goes. It comes and goes, it's not so bad. It keeps coming and it doesn't go, that's where the problem is. When everything comes and then it doesn't go, it is a problem. Chinese philosophy is cheat. What is cheat? When the Sarah Upanishad came, he was teaching meditation Sama. Everybody was thinking about cheat. Sarah Upanishad asked, Sujiva, what is cheat? The word cheat is not a concept to use in Burma meditation centers. And the tree has different meanings. No? So generally, this energy, you don't see the energy coming. It's stuck somewhere. So if you see the pain doesn't go away, the pain keeps building up. And so sooner or later you can't bear it anymore. And you cannot be mindful anymore, then you give up. So if you don't give up and you force yourself that anger, then you're no longer mindful. But if your perception of the change in the pain, how it comes and goes, change is not fast. Change is kindness. The sharper you see pain, you see change, transcendence becomes clear. So the moment you see it's not there. When you see pain, it's not there. You do something from the pain. And then you go off indefinitely. It's not what happens in meditation. So that's why when you watch pain, you don't watch it, concentrate on pain, you don't concentrate on objects, but you watch the process. Another example, writing for people writes. Telling the other day is I know a person that's going super yogi. You can watch writing for a continuous speed for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 1 day. So mine is very clear, very good person, but there's no insight. You cannot see impermanence. Watching rise and fall, rise to fall into rise, it's not impermanence, it's change. Impermanence is all the elements, but this rise and passing moment. You see like something like law of boundaries, you see further it's just more moments of sparks of existence coming. And that is the actual reason for you supposed to see, experience. You know, the stomach. Stomach, you have to start somewhere, you know, you run from this shore to other shore, you start from that shore, you start from the other shore. Some people can even feel the reason. It's true. I did a good thing of the two facts. It's true. Someone was poor, a kid that was old, and I cannot feel ready for it. Really? So I put my hand on his stomach. It's just like the Buddha's time. When he touches his stomach, he touches his spine. When he touches his stomach. That was when the Buddha was doing austerity. So you're not expecting to feel rising from there. So there's no rising falling. Right? And for the other brother is too big. You can feel the rising falling because it's already expanded to its maximum. Because you don't tell me that in the probably I tell, hey, mister, no, you better reduce your weight. It's good for you. The learning process. You better reduce what otherwise you cannot meditate. You won't take that. You tell him you better reduce what otherwise you will die. So then you reduce. Then you can meditate better. And so there's this process of anatta, which actually is sharpening the awareness into the nature of life. Until you find the ultimate, the unconditioned reality. Nibbana is unconditioned. Nibbana Buddha's experience suddenly is not there. It's there all the time. It's more real than what you see around you, except that you don't know what it is and you don't see it. Because your mind is not been trained to see it. Like space, you can see space. You see what is in the space. Because your mind you see objects, you don't see the consciousness, you see what is in the consciousness. The consciousness is like space that contains all objects. It's one of the functions of consciousness to receive an object in the metaphysical. But in the experiential term, it is the space that contains the objects. It's like a screen, no? A three-dimensional screen. Now we have 3D movies, huh? But this is a 4D movie. That's all in there. Because that screen has no time. And so, but there's a not Nibbana, there's just still consciousness. But Nibbana, you have to go beyond the consciousness. Okay? And so, but talking of the first levels, like the first insight knowledge and all those, it is not difficult. It's not so difficult. It's an individual. The ability to put aside the worldly matters, to get clear, peaceful awareness, to know what is just happening. Then you sharpen your awareness into the ultimate realities. You can see the ultimate realities, then you clearly that's already the first insight knowledge. That arises naturally. The trouble is, first, you must cut the thinking and go through the pure experience of mindfulness. In the past, this was possible for Malaysians within the 40s. And most money. Westerners take longer because they are taught to think. Education, the first time they go to school. And they keep developing thinking in the philosophy. And then they appreciated admired because of their philosophical thinking. Yes. No, the language is very strange. There are a lot of descriptive words. They tell you something, they put all the adjective, the more adjective, the better. The whole paragraph is like adjective. In short, this. The language is like, what is he trying to tell me? Above all that, it is this. Because the education is a very artistic and refined society. All these things are taken to great art and must take great consideration. So Malaysians are not like that. But now they're going to par. Nowadays, that's the 4 days usually, you can meditate or not, whether you can concentrate. Now they're quite equal in the West. The critical point is 1 week. You can survive 1 week, generally, you're okay. In the sense that you won't go crazy. The West, 1 week is a critical point. You know who is on the borderline. On the borderline. Willing, thinning to give up. The general is not so bad because when you come to the trip, you have to fill in the forms, the people taking the screening first. They ask you questions and they had psychological problems before and so on. They screen you first. So by the time they come to me, there may be those that are able to escape their screening. So there's very spies. You have assistant teachers and assistant spies. Often these are self-appointed. But there's not so many there. Sometimes you have to tap into it because they usually respect privacy. In Malaysian and Asian societies, no. They're full of appointed detectives and spies around. Get bored. But whenever they're helpful, especially when the big pictures, you need such people to keep things under control. But no, once you have that, and you have a keen mind, potential to understand, to know things, it's not difficult. You feel it and you experience it. So only sometimes when it first comes out, in its more primordial form, you don't recognize it. Because it's not thinking, it's experience. And it can be quite a strange experience that people can be frightened. If somebody meditated, then you find it, oh, who am I? I forgot about me, they got scared. No? It may not be a bad thing. It's able to, for that moment, disconnect himself from the high self. But the problem is during the time, it does not have mindfulness. So the fear arose. But if you have sharp mindfulness, then he knows. So this is the thing I do like relatives. It's what I experienced with the first became a month. So at once I knew, because I had been reading Dhamma and I knew something about it. But if it does not, and if fear arises, then it becomes a stumbling block. It actually prevents. This is bad. Especially when you go and tell some people outside who does not know what goes. Oh, yeah, you're going bad. And of course, it cuts off. Even though it may be a genuine experience. This was the initial stage, the highest stage. I just know exactly what's going on. Because otherwise, you won't call it insight. So, if you have a proper teacher or proper friend, tell you what happens. You make sure that it is a genuine experience, then it develops. When it develops, then it overflows into the daily life. Then you don't just practice mindfulness in daily life, you practice insight, meditation in daily life. There's a difference. We're talking about insight in daily life. Don't come and say, So all very good, I'm not criticizing them. But when you talk about insight, it's a different matter. Talk about three new characteristics. Primarily, anatta, non-self. It can be done because this insight and non-self, it can be done with not so high concentration, without any absorption of jhanas. You don't need that deep jhanas to get insight or to practice awareness of anatta in daily life. You need more of what we call some basic awareness and concentration, and the maturity of insight. Insight level is one thing, maturity of insight is another thing, level is another thing. It's just like horizontal progression and vertical progression. Maturity of insight, horizontal progression. Like for example, the roots as the basic part of the plant. And from the roots, you to stem and tree top. Now, how tall it grows will depend on how well the roots are. Right? And maturity is like the development at a certain level. Maturity on a certain level will give rise to the next level. So, if you're able to practice insight meditation for daily life, then the insight is being ingrained into every activity, not only while you're meditating, but while you're walking. Of course, not while you're quarreling. Quarreling your anger, then there's no insight. Your insight, you won't quarrel. And if the insight arises while watching anger, then you stop quarreling. That's the difference. And then you stop. Okay, let's stop here. Dhamma. Oh, it's almost. That's it. So you have time for one or two questions. Any questions, please? Yes. Please take out your mask. I cannot hear you.
Bhante, please elaborate this Nirodha Samadhi. Why is the right time to practice this meditation?
Nirodha Samadhi. We cannot practice Nirodha Samadhi unless you appreciate it. Nirodha Samadhi offers only arahants and anagamis with a full absorptions in mastery. If you have not attained the first part or first and second, it's impossible to practice Nirodha Samadhi. What you can practice is Nirodha Sanya. Nirodha Sanya is perception of cessation. You see things disappearing. Even Nirodha Sanya, you cannot practice at the beginning. You develop the perception impermanence until the fifth insight comes. Then you get into Nirodha Sanya. You don't need to practice Nirodha Samadhi. You don't have therapy. It's getting a bit nasty. Yes, you know things. Come on, your chance.
Just one question.
Yes.
I have heard somewhere that because the Dhamma is the unconditional
Yes.
and everything ceases. But
What
even
end?
and it's a cessation,
Yes, yes, yes.
cessation. And that your bodily functions will also like breathing will sort of stop momentarily, as you're going into Magapala. Is it true?
No.
No what? Yeah.
The breathing stops when you are in Nirodha Samapatti, not Magapala. It stops when you are in the fifth absorption. Stops when you're in fifth absorption. Fifth jhana. In Arupa jhana, no breathing. Breathing stops. Okay. Magapala does not have to be. You can come with the first jhana. It doesn't have to go with the fifth jhana. Stops. Even just before entering the fifth jhana, the whole body becomes numb and stoned. Breathing stops. Just before and then go in, everything stops. You're still breathing. Sometimes before you go to jhana, you're still breathing. But very slow. But one time in 1 minute. One time in 2 minutes. But they're still breathing, no? Very light. You breathe through the skin. Yes. So then even then it may not be jhana yet. But it really stopped. Whole process ceased. Stop. Magapala does not need to be there. The breathing gets over.
It's just normal.
It's not the normal breathing, it's very fine. It's like no breathing. Very interesting story. I have a friend. He's a meditator. He's one of those business people who go around. And so one day, one of those festival, there was this New Year party, fancy dress party. So he was a master go. When he went there, there was only one costume left for him. There was a sewing work. Sewing costume there. So there was only costume left for him to wear, so he wore that. So we're having this party and I think we were bored. So he said that to meditate. So when he was meditating, he went to quite deep concentration. People asked him, he's not moving. He's sitting there all alone. Then they started getting suspicious. He watched his palms. So he doesn't have palms. So he doesn't breathe. Brain danger or die. So they said, shall we call the doctors or hospital? But he knows what is going on, no? He's not in jhana, he knows what's going on. So quickly he says, so wake up, this is getting too much. So he started getting off, he started doing something, So it was a funny story. So, any other questions?
Bhante, there was this video about this monk who went to a coffee and he came back.
What? Going to
The Burmese monk, Sayadaw, so he said that it was supposed to be done and put in the coffin. And later he had woke up again.
He didn't die. Actually, they didn't bury him, he was buried alive.
Because the notion was given because they put it in the coffin. So they took off his leg.
He's not dead. When a person really dies, the death consciousness he won't come back.
What was this aim of doing that?
Oh, doing what?
With the Sayadaw, he said that
He probably went with jhanas or something like that, maybe absorption in him, so the whole body system seems to have stopped. But he's not dead.
but he gets arranged for the monks to put it in the coffin.
There, whoever knows the thing must be inefficient or ignorant. Probably one of the reasons why they keep the body in lying state of fruitage to make sure it's breathing. But probably one of the original examples. And also let people come and pay their respects as well. When it starts rotting, of course, it's not sense things. You see, the Buddhist definition of death is that all the karmic past cease. The life activity has ceased. But just knowing this, the actions of life activity is not so easy. All physical evidence of life process may not be there, but the karmic process is still present. Remember the Parinirvana of Buddha. The Buddha is closed his eyes for a lifetime, going up and down the jhanas. And people say, oh, he's passed away. This is Anuruddha, she with psychic power. No, it's not Parinirvana, it's in Vishjana. After you go up and down, the other one say, oh, he's passed away. It means they still perceive something, but they don't perceive well enough as Anuruddha. So they say, no, because you went to Nirodha Samapati. When you went to Nirodha Samapati, they couldn't detect this consciousness anymore. Anuruddha says, no, Nirodha Samapati. When they actually went to Parinirvana, yes, because it was following the consciousness. So it's not so easy to discern. Okay.
One draft.
Yes.
Wait.
I've been wondering about you. I'm asking everybody where is Quack. They say, I don't know who is Quack. They say the one with 101 children. They say, I children.
So happy to see you.
Me too.
Yeah. So and what's my question now?
Yes.
Sorry, I lost the question already. Anyway, I'm still practicing. Even middle of the night.
Yeah, good.
And it make me sleep so well.
Yeah, very good.
I know it's very deep sleep. Yeah, fantastic. I must say thank you.
Yeah, good.
Changed my life.
Sadhu.
Changed my life. Yeah.
Every time I come to, before I come to Sarawak, I don't remember you. Every time I come to Sarawak, I remember you.
That's why I went effort. I will see you.
Yeah, so
Yeah, thank you.
even that fellow, remember this fellow? Who is this fellow, the one sitting next to the door?
Young.
I remember him. Come say often.
With the man.
The one behind the. Have you seen him before?
Yeah.
Yeah, this fellow. Some people can't remember their faces. I don't remember their names. I tend to remember faces and names. Okay, there are no questions. We have some. Today is Dhamma. So we charge a translation during Dhamma.
Excuse me, Bhante. Maybe the Q&A you can have another 5 minutes. After that, we have to stop because we need to get clear the room and prepare a table for Bhante's lunch. Sorry about the limitness of mobile center. So we will have another 5 minutes of Q&A. Then we need to stop. Okay.
Yes, any more questions? Please feel free. Ask anything.
One more question.
You remember, right?
I always talk about this meditation to my friend.
Yes. They won't listen.
Any idea? I will tell them how good it is, including those insomnia. But they just, I don't know, maybe don't believe me.
No, everybody is
No,
interested in
see,
meditation.
already when they reach certain age, they get over to sleep. So always tell them, you shouldn't be taking sleeping pill. Try other method, you see, and one of the method is to do meditation. Somehow they don't have the Dhamma.
We can only try, you know. We can try. If you are not successful, try to ask somebody more convinced. Like old ladies, we find another lady older than them, then maybe they will listen to her, not to you. Something like that. Sometimes people listen, don't listen to you, but they listen to another friend. So you know the friend will meditate, and you will listen to you get her because they say they always say the prophet is not recognized in his own village.
But put it this way, I still telling them, maybe one day it will trigger in your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They try, you can only, we try, I don't know, it's all we can do. David, David Chin. Who is not here?
I remember Dennis Chin.
Dennis Tree.
He's still around.
Oh, he's doing very well.
He's still around, he's still meditating.
I'm not sure, but I was surprised now. He progressed very fast.
Bong mentioned, he's still
Actually,
he's still
I saw
meditating.
him in the canteen, you know.
But he's a Christian, he goes to churches and so
No,
on.
he told me,
But
actually,
he still meditates.
he came because of his migraine. After the first retreat, his migraine under control. He told me, the strongest this painkiller he had to take, and sometimes no effect. But after the first retreat, he knows that it's coming, you know. When he practice the meditation, it doesn't come up. I saw it you hear that, no?
His concentration is very good.
Oh yeah, that's why that's why I noticed that sometimes people they come because of sickness, they really strive. Yeah, very common.
You also was very cool, isn't it?
I also very common. But he is on the cable side. I'm in the radio.
Okay.